Hello guys, welcome back. And today we'll be continuing on with this test. We'll be starting with the testimony. I was ingesting a regular beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of that particular fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly little weasel. But chest did not pass, that's the whole. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant, also actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir, affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. And he's looking at his knife. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't see anyone. Is that really true, Inosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. And I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor dropped it, so I bent down just as I was picking it up. Forgot what voice did I get for Nosuke. No, I do. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimony, there's a clue to who that criminal was. There's Inosuke. You must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there's no room for doubting the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the cause just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it's my grave duty to declare that yes. What in the name of the Empire is the meaning of this opus? The defense demands us right to cross-examination. Dear me, let me guess, the Hatsumiki headband boy next door told me to do it? How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma's so demanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins for Nosuke. But you don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. Hi! You don't fire the gun, which means that the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is in the evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive evidence and decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Inosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then, it's all or nothing. Okay. So I remember what statement it was. Oh. He's just raising his hand. Oh my gosh. What are you playing at, cadet? What's the meaning of the subordination fostering some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes, there's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us what we already don't know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency. There's no place for an amateur student in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell I would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what are you talking about? It's apart from a single glance of the photographic print presented by the defense. There's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Lisa Norsa. Yes, sir, what is it? What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniform varsity cadet fire on the English civilian and from the back the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed a crime with my own military-grade eyes. But no, that can't be. That can't be. And why not, cadet? Because. Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit saw the victim from behind. And there is obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? What the? Oh, what was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant North? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I had the firearm discharged, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Lysa Norther, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor in this grand courtroom. Yeah. And we got the middle. There's been a complete turnabout in the middle of this trial just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. Yeah. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have been quite clear. The gun saw interest in me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the whole Era Kuban, my prize coin, on each occasion when I visit that restaurant, is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute, in hope of meeting a rich stanner who would like to buy it from you. On that day, under scrutiny, it was to be the military man that I pro-offer my holy treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not, but I was presented with a little alternative, and then, after 30 miles for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The kobold vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded not, for I was concerned only for finding my absent holy treasure. I have no idea how you pronounce that. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious holy kobold was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, It would be unforgivable to deliver further on this trial right now. What's your position, Prosecutor Archie?
Why not, Your Excellency? The defendant may have fled a tire at the front gate, but he'll find the wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing the next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there was only one person who could have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant with no skin or hoodoo. What?
He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will fully explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's alleging. Is that clear?
As clear as as clear as Kikero glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir, at once, sir. Wait and signal to testify, sir.
Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think.
Affirmative, the newest member of the Norsa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Idol. I'll seem no straps or sign of the surgeon being too strapped to afford a nanny. Idol, tension. Your father is about to quell the enemy. What's unknown, my boy?
The true culprit.
Even if what I saw was in the precise moment of the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreman, he was that young lad in black. That much I did see.
Furthermore, official search of the premises at the time, we confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. All found out. These testimonies are certainly compelling.
Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Doyle Wilson, wasn't alone now. Please, enough of these hypers already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We're not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. There's evidence beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone there at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel?
Indeed, of the table at which the victim was standing, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As the can plainly be seen, there's only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it'll be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in company of anyone else.
This doesn't make any sense.
The court will add the new photograph evidence to the record.
I don't understand what's going on here. It's just not possible that no one else saw that woman.
The waiter before said the same thing. maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. Swear that I saw a woman with him. It will seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we heard have just here leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takei Tsuyoshi, will have contributed to the mighty of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand over no case not over yet.
What?
If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination.
I don't know, Kazuma.
The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood?
Those can be so unbending at times. Ugh. Hold on, can I... No. Rotate is nothing yet. No, it's not the same thing at all. First, I'd identify that gun.
We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus Alpha Fleshling Cadet.
I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Oh my god, not this.
Did you see it? Did you see me blink?
How could I?
And yet there's an undeniable fact that I blinked.
What's this got to do with anything?
So there you have it. Have what?
Turns up. The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you? Ugh. Let's not forget that the antique dealer witness accused in the most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korikuta-san? Yes. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time, but I told you already that it's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. Sadly, that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of offense beyond the control life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the carbine from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the facts remain myself a dizzy with pistol in hand standing over the foreigner. Yes, you must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callous in my ear. And yet no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh, if only there had been more people dining at that time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time around lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course, the place was almost empty. It's what you expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. Wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eaten at that time of day and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was. This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. Was that Consul? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hotter clinic. Yes, that would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The third day of the incident. So the victim went for late lunch following his appointment. That explanation can't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before as there had no bearing on the case. I wonder, what do you think, Renowski? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered in court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's mail? Yes. Yes! Raise the son. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court's already had conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence will be extraneous. Not to mention the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. Whether or not they may of concern is up to us to decide whether to explore all possible analyses. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request. Justices, there are forever certain their rights is a most disturbing change. Officer kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. What we need right now is new clues. You have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. I hear. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused Koikuta-san. I think if we go to the end. Excellent work, Renosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see it bring any real discrepancies to light.
I won't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before.
Oh, you mean this?
Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail.
How exactly?
Okay.
Yeah,
we don't need to go for this, really.
okay, yeah.
So, partner, I think you better take a closer look at this medical report card.
Hold on.
Camera won't focus, but it's there. In the square. See if there's isn't something need to be learned by Simon in detail. I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. It's just enough molar with topical anesthesia.
Is that enough molar? You mean he had a tooth taken off?
It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief.
Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia, though it's hard to believe there can anything stop you from feeling pain.
There's a cautionary room.
Yeah.
Strictly no food or drink beside water for 3 hours post-procedure. The effects have worn off.
Yeah. There's new information. Yeah.
So we can go ahead and present.
Yes! Well, I think, what you were doing, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. I, I wish I could, but first and foremost, I'm the accused.
No skate, everyone stumbles on the words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I won't worry about it.
Thanks, Casimir.
I could see quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that so purposefully, you knew exactly what you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully, just say what you're thinking.
Alright, and thanks for the advice. Koikuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Okay, and I think that's we're going to stop here for the time being. So next time we'll finish this up, we'll continue on and see what happens. Goodbye.